the Mediocre Disc Golf Podcast, the average podcast for the average disc golfer. As always, I'm Evan Amstutz here with Dan with the Taco Bell disc golf shirt, Hesser. We're happy you could join us. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. So Tyler Cyril came out, oh gosh, how long ago was that he came out with these shirts, these like sweatshirts that have like the Taco Bell emblem on it. It's one of my favorite disc golf shirts. I wear it all the time whenever it's cold enough.
Yeah, it's like a upside down Taco Bell logo, but it's now a basket and a disc. It's pretty awesome. I love mine.
For sure.
The 3 times a year I get to wear it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this has been in storage, man. You know, moving up here, it's been like, all right, well, now it's an everyday wear. So here I
Yeah.
am. Well, how's everything going? What's new with you?
Not too much. Got the Bullet Bash and Lighthouse Open coming up.
Nice. There's like a
That's
one
next weekend.
after the other, right? It's like a Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday situation.
yeah, it's 2 rounds on Saturday for the Bullet Bash at Springfield Park in Jacksonville, and then 2 rounds on Sunday for Lighthouse Open in St. Augustine at the Fairgrounds course. So lots of disc golf, lots of walking,
Yeah.
almost an endurance type event, uh, doing the double.
Yeah, that's 4 rounds. That's a lot.
Yeah, 4 rounds.
Four tournament rounds. That's a lot.
Yeah, but looking forward to it. Should be good events. The courses are both in great shape, so can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, Springfield, I played Springfield for the first time in a while the other day when I was back in Jacksonville.
Hmm.
That course looks great. Like
Yeah.
they've put in some work and it shows. Like it is a great looking course. It is a great like the baskets are amazing. It's
Hmm.
just the area, but I mean, the area wasn't even that bad. Like it was just
Yeah.
like, compared to some of the other places I played in, like it was just, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, and
I
it,
enjoyed
it
it.
it was helped out by the new playground that was put in. I know that caused a lot of headaches for the Alexanders and the River City guys who were putting in that
Sure.
part, putting in the course and all that. Had to move a couple of holes, but honestly, I think it was for the better. Some pretty pretty fun shots were added, and course
Hmm.
changed up just a little bit. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Dan really cares about that course. He's messaging me last night, like, "Hey, what did you played from the whites? What needs to get trimmed up? What do you think? Anything that needs to get fixed?" I'm like, moss here and there, maybe trim back this willow tree that I kept hitting, but that's about it."
Yeah, what is that? The willow tree on like 8 or 9 or something like that. You're teeing off and there's a giant tree almost directly in front of you.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
and
tough
it's
shot.
it's a super tough shot, and you're trying to like flex. I don't really understand. It's a hyzer, but then there's this palm tree that's right.
It's
Weird
like
line.
a really big hyzer bomb is kind of the only line right now. I'll be interested to see what he does to trim that up. But
Yeah,
I mean, still, it's possible. It's better than some other Florida disc golf courses where
yeah, for
you look
sure.
down the
Pro
fairway and you're
am.
like, what do you want me to do here?
Yeah, yeah.
You're starting to play some courses up in the Portland area, aren't you?
Yeah, well, so I'm in Medford, which is about 3 hours away from Portland South. And they um, they have something called like Southern Oregon Winter Series,
Hmm.
SOWS, and they put in like these temp courses like in random locations, and you get to go play them for like one time.
That's kind of cool.
Um, Throw back to an earlier episode of with Aaron Doyle, and we asked advice of how do you play courses blind, and he goes, not well. Well, that's how I play courses blind. Um, the first round, I think I shot like a 920 or something, and then I followed it up with a 950 second round. So not the best, but
Hmm.
um, it was fun. It was super fun. I've got another one coming up next weekend. Not this weekend,
Nice.
next weekend. Um, and yeah, they hold them every other week or something like that at a different location. And there's like 80 plus people out there. Some of your
Wow.
teammates from AGL. That's pretty cool to see them out there.
Yeah, I recognize some of the names when I was taking a look at how you did. So I
You're
was
like,
like,
why do I have to scroll down so long? Yeah, that was rough. But
Yeah.
no, it's super fun. I really enjoyed that course.
How are the courses up there?
Um, so the courses I've played have been very wooded,
Hmm.
tight lines, and tons of fun. Like I went up with my girlfriend and played a course called Tom Pierce, and the entire ground is covered in like this green moss. It looks like it's like a um, it looks like it should be like a little fairy inhabitant, like it's the area with like all these like, but it's just it's so freaking gorgeous, man. It's so
Hmm.
freaking gorgeous. But hard courses, lots of fun.
Great, man. Glad you're enjoying it
Yeah,
up there.
yeah.
Well, why don't you say we get back to our interview with the Carries, hear them talk about their new sponsor and why they switched.
Can't wait, man.
This week's episode is brought to you by The Disc Shop. One of the best days for a disc golfer is New Disc Day. With different runs of discs, the best way to get exactly what you want is by seeing what you're buying. The Disc Shop in Middleburg, Florida has the largest selection in store in Jacksonville. Want the latest from Discmania? The Disc Shop has you covered. Looking for starter kits to introduce your friends? Head on down to the Disc Shop. If you prefer the convenience of online shopping, head over to thediscshop.com for all your disc golf needs. Listeners get 10% off when using the code MDGPOD at checkout online or by mentioning the podcast while in store. Located halfway between Trinity and Ronnie Van Zant, the Disc Shop is the spot.
So can you talk a little bit about I know you guys both just transitioned to Lone Star and you just had a Lone Star Media Week last week, which I'm sure we're going to see a lot of drops, a lot of videos, a lot of content coming out of that. But can you talk a little bit about your transition to the new bag and what how you're feeling about that, different discs that you're loving?
Yeah, no, I mean,
It's been great.
hands
Yeah.
down, easy transition. The plastic is unbelievably good. If you like soft discs, that's Bravo. If you like stiff disc, that's Alpha. Like it's always the consistency is unreal. Like the honestly, every mold that I had in my bag, they've already filled those gaps.
Mhm.
You know, they're
Wow.
not all their discs aren't like direct copies of anything. They have a lot of proprietary molds and
But
a lot
every shot is taken
every
care of.
shot, yeah, that I needed in my bag is taken care of. Like honestly, they got the best, hands down, the best overstable drivers in the market. There ain't nothing close to it, and and this is
Really?
something that they've already done in a 2 year time. So I mean, last year they had 7 molds. Now they have over 25. They probably have 32 total with all the companies else, all the Black Zombie and
Mhm.
Hooligan, who they also make discs for. They're a big fish that a lot of people didn't see coming. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to work with them.
So I throw a lot of wraiths,
Okay.
Halo race. What do they have that's comparable to a wraith? Just to put
Okay.
you on the spot.
Let's
The
go
Nimitz.
Nimitz. Nimitz, it would feel very similar to what you've been throwing. Nimitz is going to have a little more glide and a little more high-speed turn than what you're used to in, like, say, the Halo Wraith. But if it's too flippy, you go to the Warbird, which is a little fat. It's one step faster and never a turn and burn kind of disc. So
The Warbird is basically like their destroyer, isn't it?
similar wing, but I find it to be okay. So there's so many runs of destroyer. The Warbird in general is like, yeah, you could compare it to a destroyer, but most of them come all pop top with decent dome, nice heartbeat on them. You know, they're all good. They're all bomber out of the box. In that alpha, and then the Bravos are a little flatter.
Mhm.
So talking about that for a second, and Deann, I'm kind of interested to hear your perspective on this. There's a lot of newer players that are throwing really understable discs, really lightweight discs. What would you recommend in that sort of category, and I'm sure that you're probably not in that. Like you're probably throwing a lot more stable discs than half the M's out there. But what would you kind of recommend in that sort of more lighter weight, easier to throw type discs?
Well, for the lightweight disc, we have our Lima plastic, which is I think 152 to around
160.
to 160 is the Lima plastic. And they have that in every single disc, I believe.
Every mold.
Every mold they have
Oh,
it.
wow.
So every mold they have in Alpha, Bravo, Lima, and Glow, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Every mold and glow as well.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's
Every
incredible.
I don't think that some putters they don't have glow, but
Yeah, some putters, but like all of the other drive or like
all of the
other
mid-range up they have had in glow at some point.
I think they just don't have the Jackrabbit and the Blue Bonnet and
Bull Snake.
Oh, and the Bull Snake and the
Yeah.
Copperhead. Okay. Anyway, but my favorite driver, hands down, is the Curl. It's super easy to throw. Like, it gets sneaky distance. But I throw them like I throw those like 169 to 170. 170,
Okay.
I believe, is like my perfect range. I like the 168, 169 weights. I have 155 to 158 warbirds in my bag. And so
Okay.
I do like lightweight plastic in the more overstable stuff.
The faster disc, yeah.
Yeah, the faster disc. And
Okay. And are those that's super interesting, and that's really cool that they're able to that they came out with all this sort of stuff. I mean, it's kind of the brand that was I don't want to say that nobody really heard of, but maybe wasn't making as big of a splash. And this season, they've really made some huge splashes with their signings. So it's pretty exciting that to know that they have the plastics to back up and be able to suit just about every slot.
Yeah, and let's give some backstory to Lone Star.
most people don't know it.
Okay, Lone Star has been
Yeah,
around.
please.
Lone Star Molding, okay, is the parent company to this. Everything is owned by Terry Dillard and the Dillard family. So it's all Lone Star Molding has been in business for over 25 years, and they work in the oil industry, making pump heads and seals for for high pressure applications. So it's all in the oil field, which is at high demand down in the Houston area. So their products they work with vendors that constantly order these valves, and they move them. And so one thing that they use is these are seals and pump heads and valves. Are high heat, high pressure applications. So they're not using plastic that's, say, bottom of the barrel like many other manufacturers are. They're buying plastics that are the highest grades. Okay, all of these plastics that they use in the oil field are all used on the golf discs. So it's not something that the only plastic that I know of that they order secondary to their main operation is the glow, because there's no use in glow for that. So, and maybe like the flakes and
you don't want like a glow gasket.
Right. So one thing you'll notice if you get their Victor series plastics, which is their putter plastic, many people look at them and they're like, this is a baseline plastic. But if you took that and you then took DX or Pro D or Prime or any of these competitors in their what they call baseline plastics, our Victor series holds up. Like it you can throw these putters for a long time. They won't take chunks.
And
they're
they
durable.
all float in water.
Yeah, the Victor plastic also floats in water. All of them. So they're extremely durable. So they're at a higher price point than what Like, let's say all of the MSRP across the board is the same.
Oh, no matter the plastic, it's all the same.
Right. What I'm getting at is like their putter plastic is premium putter plastic. It's not baseline because it's tacky and it's grippy. It's premium because it's tacky, it's grippy, and it will not break in, will not chunk. It will take a beating. Okay.
So as far as the quality, it's the same
Quality.
across the board. That's why it's
Correct.
charged the same across the board.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's not a baseline plastic because it's definitely premium. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great plastic. The we have also the Alpha, the Bravo, which is the Alpha stiff, Bravo's gummy. Glow is kind of like
In between.
Bravo. It's gummy. It's bright as can be. It's definitely the brightest on the market.
So what facilitated the switch between your sponsorships moving to Lone Star? I mean, what was the catalyst that kind of made that happen? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll let you take that one, Deann.
We'll just leave it as
you don't have to answer. We can edit it out.
no. Okay. I don't like to undervalue myself. And so when I know I'm being undervalued and not appreciated, it's time to make a change.
For sure. I
Gotcha.
completely understand that.
So,
Completely understand.
yes.
In terms of value, is it the social media side of things? Are you able to talk on that? Like is Lone Star going to be working with you guys more on social media and kind of promoting your brand that way? I know Innova is kind of notorious for not doing that.
Say yes. Yes. Let's just say it's a stark difference. Every detail across the board in our contract. I mean, we work directly with the owner of the company and his children who run the company. So it's yeah. I mean, when it comes to social media, we work directly with Josh Hofstra. He's our media manager for the team and for the company, and I mean, he's great to work with. It's like we text him directly. You know, we can send them pictures. They'll post it up. They're ready to work with it. They're active.
We've done more media in the past week with Lone Star than I've done in 4 years with Innova.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say my whole professional career.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So does that mean you guys are going to be getting your own like tour series discs and different things like that to help you
absolutely
in your tour?
Yeah, we will have a tour series disc will be coming out very soon.
And at every stop, if people are out and about in the communities and come to fly marts or your local course and we're there, we'll have fundraiser disc on us too. And hopefully we'll try to get that on Instagram or Facebook to be able to ship those out as well.
Yes, and our tour series disc will be also available to many wholesale dealers across the country who carry Lone Star products. So,
and I believe on the Lone Star website.
Yep, on the Lone Star website. All these things are coming soon, very soon.
That's awesome. So, AJ, for you, what was it like leaving Innova, considering you worked in the warehouse and probably had an even deeper relationship with the company?
Yeah. So let's just say the team relation side is all done by the West Coast. I worked for the East Coast, and you know, I still got a family over there at the East Coast. You know, they're all, everybody I worked with. You know, no hard feelings, any of them. You know, I really enjoyed my time, but they are separate companies. So, you know, I'm not cutting any ties with my family out at the East. You know, they're all near dear to my heart. You know, regardless of my sponsorship change. You know, but ultimately, you know, it doesn't hurt those relationships. You know, they all know that I love them, regardless of what plastic I throw. So, but yeah, and we you know, we had to make a business decision, and that's at the end of the day, we had to do what's best for us, what's best for our brand, and you know,
Looking
it is
for the future.
Yeah, and we're looking for the future. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's like it's an investment to be on the road. It's not. I mean, it's not affordable. Let's say that. So there's a lot of expenses to be made, and Lone Star sees that, they understand that, and they're helping us, you know, more than we could ever expect. So, you know, it's all.
That's awesome. That's really cool that they're supporting their players and doing that. And I think the media week where they had everybody up there and just like I said, they're going to be probably putting out a bunch of content around that. That's going to be amazing. And
Yeah,
like you guys said, I've had conversation with Josh before, and he does seem like a great stand-up guy. So
yeah, no,
that's pretty cool.
And so last Saturday we had our Lone Star Team Invitational. We had, I think, over 250 team members from all over the country came out. That was like a team across the whole board, from founders all the way to our pro team, and we got to meet so many great fans and team members. And Lone Star's like, you know, they got all those people together. You know, so it's a good family to be a part of. It's a good company to work with, and I really, man, it feels very much like home.
Mm-hmm.
And the fan base, the Lone Star fan base, is like none other. You
It's
know,
crazy.
and so
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it, and appreciate all of our our Ranger team out there.
There's a huge community in pretty much everywhere I've been, and I travel all across the country, and there's always 3 or 4 people that are dedicated to them and love the Armadillo, love all these other sort of discs that people just
Look,
gravitate
I'm gonna
towards.
say my bold prediction is, after this year, right now, I think Lone Star is ranked 11th on Infinite's rankings. I'm gonna say we're gonna be we're gonna be in the top 5, hands down. You know, easy work. You know, be looking for some more Lone Star out there. It's high quality plastic. I mean, it's probably the highest quality disc on the market. I've thrown all the discs. You know, you got to get your hands on some of the Lone Star. It flies well, and they got every hole in the lineup is slowly being filled.
Just kind of looking forward a little bit, Deann. I know that you're kind of a planner, aren't you, as far as like trying to figure out all the different tour stops and all the different campgrounds and everything that you're staying at?
Yes.
How's that going?
Well, we actually bought a new RV a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we sold our trailer.
And so it's going to be a lot less campgrounds this year. All the ones that we're going to stay at, I've already booked, so we're good on those. But it's going to be more of we're staying at the course, because usually at every tour stop, Elite Series, at least most of the Silver Series, I believe, they provide camping on site, which is just a bunch of us hanging out in the parking lot and
dry camping.
But it's a lot of fun. Like, if you don't ever have to leave the golf course, like, that's great.
Yeah. So we have a small motor home now, like 26 footer. So it can fit into the parking lots a whole lot easier than our truck and fifth wheel could. Yeah. And
a whole lot easier.
It's a lot easier to dry camp with it than it was with the truck and trailer.
Are you going to be like hauling a small car behind it or something like that? Or are you just...
We'll be towing our car.
Yeah.
So that'll keep it so where we could, you know, drop our RV and then have another form of transportation.
And then, like, if you have to go get groceries, you don't have to move the RV. You can just...
Yeah, for sure.
What we learned last year with the truck is when we parked the trailer, we would take the truck out. We still
got crappy gas mileage.
It's like 14, 15. But now, you know, we're getting the same towing a car. We unhook the car and then it's like 35.
35 miles per gallon.
Like, okay.
There you go.
The math adds up, you know.
And it only costs like $30 to fill it up.
Yeah. So yeah.
Big difference.
You know, things you learn touring, you know, from a van to a truck and trailer to a small RV.
Yeah.
I feel that.
It takes signs. There's learning pains for sure.
Yeah. So I know that you guys are you pretty much hitting every pro series? Are you going to be hitting every elite series, or I'm sorry, every elite series? Are you going to be hitting every silver series as well, or?
So definitely yes on all of the elite series, elite plus, majors, and all of that. The silver series, they're kind of one of those things that we definitely try to hit every single one, but some of them might not make sense. Like the one
Yeah.
in Prince Edward Island. We're not going to that.
We've been there
Like
before. We know what that drive's
we've been
like.
there once. It's great. It's a
So
13
pretty
hour
though.
drive there, 13-hour drive back. You have to spend like $80 to get onto the island, and you have to pay it before you come back off. Like, it's a ridiculous toll to get onto the island. And so we're just like, yeah, we're good with that. We'll stay around here, play a few A tiers.
It was just one weekend. Yeah. Yeah, I don't we've been Prince Edward Island is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But it's like when it's 26-hour round trip, got to take a motor home to it. You have to break down the
I have PTSD from there.
gotta win the silver series to even pay for
By
the
the
gas.
gas, yeah.
You got to break down the idea of it. So some events like are what we call destination tournaments, where it's the spot's just so great to go to that.
So we make an exception to go every year.
Yeah, it's like not always the most cost effective. That one may get on that list. We'll just see.
It's more of like a mini vacation to get to it type of thing.
Yeah. When it's just like we like this spot so much that we gotta go.
Yeah.
It's a break.
So are you? Yeah. On that note, are you guys headed to Europe this year?
Would love to. Have to look at the logistics of it. We have a dog now, so
that kind of throws a wrench in the plan.
It's got to find a place to park the RV,
but
board the dog.
Right
it's just
now,
a lot.
Right now, we definitely want to. We're looking at it after tour starts. We'll look at it a little bit more to see if it's reasonable to go. That is another destination vacation tournament. It's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. And what we learned about the last time going there is it's really not it'd be better to go for multiple tournaments, because then it breaks down the cost to overall. It's not a big lump for one tournament. It's a big lump for 3 or 4. So, and they do have a small tour that would go through with a silver series, elite series, and then the European Open, so a major, and another a Euro Tour event. So it could be conducive for getting points in while they're in Europe and seeing some new places. So we just have to look at the logistics of it. At this point, we will plan 2 tours. The U.S. tour and then the U.S. and Europe tour. And if we've somewhere probably in first quarter of the year, we decide if that we can do that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll be on the registration list. Don't get me wrong. After playing last year, it's just like I want to go every year. It's like it's beautiful out in Finland, and I want to see Norway, because PCS looks absolutely stunning.
So sick, doesn't it? Oh my gosh,
Yes.
That's incredible.
My boy Truls, he lives there, so I want to go. So if we can make it happen, we're going.
Well, Evan, do you have a few questions?
I've got some questions from some of our listeners. So first one, I think, centers around some of the comments that Simon was making and some of the deductions people were making about some of the leaks of who was going where, and certain tour players hinting at things that maybe they probably shouldn't have. What is the tour gossip like? Like, how much do people know, or is it depending on what circle you're in?
I mean, people on tour know a good bit, honestly.
Sometimes they know someone's leaving, and it can be so wrong, though.
Yeah.
Many of the spots from last year, like they were wrong, but they were kind of right. So usually when it's somebody leaving their company, it's like, that's true. It's just like where they're going sometimes can be up in the air.
A lot of stuff that most of it is like us speculating and just like, ooh, I wonder where this person's going. But then also, I am one of those people that I like to find out things because I want to know for myself. And so I'll poke and prod a little bit just to see, just because it's interesting. I think I was almost 100% correct. I think Simon's was the only one that I didn't really know where he was going.
I mean, Reddit told you.
Yeah,
long
Reddit
before.
told us that. But I think I was pretty much right about everything else. So, but yeah, there is some.
Well, there's definitely gossip. We're all friends.
Yeah.
So, of course, as like a group where there's not that many
there's not that many of us
disc golfers. So,
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot of talks, and of course, like we talk to each other, for help in that regards too. So, I mean, it moves around. There's definitely tour gossip. We're all talking to each other.
I'm sure people can extrapolate as well of like, hey, what was your experience when switching
to
this, and what do you know about this company? And people are like, well, now I have an idea what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's kind of living in a fishbowl type situation where everybody knows everybody, and then you have the entire disc golf world looking in at you too.
Yeah, and then many of us know players, and many of us have been in situations like where we switch sponsors, and so you talk to somebody who's had multiple experiences, and we share experiences. And that's pretty much. So we're all friends. So.
All right. Next question. Out of the two of you, who is the better putter?
Deann. Well, okay. Let's reel that back.
What distance do you want?
Circle 1 or circle 2?
Circle 2, AJ all day.
Deann can't hit a brick from circle 2. All right. But circle 1, Deann just sits up there and just bangs them. I don't know. It's gross. But circle 2, I got her. I don't know. Stats don't lie. Just someone look it up on YouTube.
Stats do lie.
Hey. Stats do lie.
Have you seen your most
some of the UDisc scores?
Some of the UDiscers, like, I love them to death. Like, I'm appreciative of everything that they do, and they are amazing. And I try to help as much as I can. But we do get some people who have never touched UDisc in their life, or this might be the first time of them coming and watching disc golf, and they don't really know what the circle is. They don't know this stuff. And so sometimes you could hit a 30 footer and they put it as a 5 to 10 foot.
Or you hit a 15 footer and they put it as a 66 footer.
Yeah, and so
or they're like, I'll put everything as a 66 footer.
That's just my joke.
We've seen them all.
Yeah.
So
I try, but I am also, me and AJ are one of those people, like, if we go back and look at our stats, because of course at the end of the year they do the putting invitational. And so we kind of keep an idea of our stats throughout the round, and then we email them to UDisc, and then they change them.
I don't know about Deann, but I can remember every putt. So I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, 66 footer. No, it was a 28 footer. And so I'm like, all right, gotta text Matt about this one and get the stats changed. Cause like, again, I want stats to be very accurate. And I appreciate all the volunteers that come out to it. I think this is just a learning curve of what disc golf is, and we'll get past this growing pain. And then we'll get to the point where, everybody that's scoring for us knows they're coming prepared, or we have good training for them on site.
Yeah.
It's just growing pains. I would say that
with the growth of the sport,
we get 1 out of 15 that's like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you guys keep doing
fair.
stats when you're playing like casual rounds or different things like that? Because I know UDisc has that option on there.
No, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't know. If I do it myself, I'm not having any accountability.
I'm the one keeping score usually, and I say no to keeping stats.
He says
That
no.
makes sense.
I'm over here to just gonna upset me. I'm like, it's not a competition round, so I'm like,
Why bother? Yeah.
why am I taking it? Because I kind of have I can sometimes play like practice a little more apathetic than I would say in the round. So it's like, I doinked a putt because I didn't give it 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't respect the situation where
Or
it's
I
like,
was rushing and I had my bag flung over my shoulder, and I'm just trying to get to the next
Right.
one, and I'm putting with my driver, like those types of
Yeah.
it's honestly a lot of it's the practices. Like you
yeah.
move through, you learn the course, you learn your shots. I'm
Get to the next
moving on.
hole, you keep it pushing. Yeah.
Moving on, yeah.
Exactly.
It's just not trying to overthink the game plan. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like half the rounds I play, I don't even keep score. You know what I mean? Just because I feel like so many times I do get caught up in that. What are my stats? What are my, you know what I mean? And then you kind of lose a little bit of the fun of the game, if that makes sense. And you
and I don't take score, but I do have an idea of what I want to shoot. Like I don't take the score, so I don't feel overconfident about it. It's I view it just I'm gonna take score in competition. That's the only time I'm score. I know when I play the course, if it's like, yeah, man, maybe the first 6 holes I want to be a 4 out of 6, or I have I break it down into how many birdies I want to get. Bogey is not an option. So I have an idea. And that's what I'm shooting for. But I'm not gonna post that round and be like, yeah, I shot a 12.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking
I
at
get that. I kind of got to figure out what part of the course is playing a little softer than others, for sure.
Just gotta stick to the game plan, because at the end of the day, when I'm playing competition, I'm just stick to the game plan. Throw the shots that are my high percentage, and give my best chance to put the putter in the basket.
Yep.
And move on. That's it. Try to be more robotic about it all.
For sure. What else you got, Evan?
All right, last one. Who is your favorite teammate on Lone Star? And you can't say each other.
Oh my gosh, favorite teammate?
Listen, you're trying to start stuff.
I'm not trying to start stuff. Someone else is trying to start stuff.
They're trying to start stuff.
Do we have? Is it Chandler? Is it Robert? Is it Emerson? Nico? Leah? Lisa? Charlie? I mean, like,
listen.
Look,
AJ's just naming everybody so he can't get in trouble.
I just literally and then add another 600 plus,
Right.
and that's our full team. Let's see. All right, my favorite teammate.
We can't say each other.
Can't say each other.
So I can say
That one's too obvious.
Else.
You can't say yourself.
No, I'm gonna put Terry Dillard is my favorite teammate. He makes the plastic I throw. He's Team Lone Star. Owner.
Oh man.
That's my favorite teammate.
I love all of them the same.
Look at you guys.
They figured out a way around it then.
Those are my questions. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Is there anything we want to give you a little bit of time here? If there's anything that you guys want to plug, anything that you want to kind of promote, we're gonna obviously link all your socials, your YouTube channel, and all that sort of stuff. But now's your time if you have anything you want to plug.
Yeah. So follow us on or subscribe to us on YouTube, Carey Disc Golf. My Instagram is at the real AJ Carey. Deann.
Mine's at the real Deann Carey.
Yes. And
it was so original. I stole it from AJ.
Yeah. So, there's some fake ones out there, so don't ask them.
Right. The fake AJ Carey. It's not the right one.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Lone Star Discs. And we also have a new bag sponsor, Discology. I'm carrying their OG V2 bag. Their bags come in there at retail of $90, so it's a It's a high-end bag at a low-end price. So I definitely recommend checking them out. They're a good quality bag, and they don't break the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a few new bags coming out this year, so I'm excited to work with them.
And then we will have custom drive bags and our Zone Sporting Good jerseys coming out
Awesome.
early in the season as well.
Thanks to Drive Bags and Zone Sporting Goods. Zone Sporting Goods made our sick jerseys that we wore last year, and we're going to have some new ones coming out in Vegas. So highly look forward to working with them again this year.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
crazy. The season's like right around the corner. It's just about to start.
Also want to plug New World Sports Complex.
Yep.
Robbie, we've been training down here in Jacksonville, Florida at New World. So this is our off season, and we've been enjoying it down in Florida. It's been great. So much better. I mean, North Carolina's great and all, but I mean, I'll take 70-degree weather all day.
Heck yeah.
So it's so nice. So yeah. And so we're out there getting ready. These courses are, you have plenty of distance. So it's great training for Vegas to start. There's plenty of wind, so we'll be ready.
Awesome. Well, good luck on your season coming up here. We'll be rooting for you guys and can't wait to see what you do.
Well, thank you guys for having us on.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining, guys. Well, that was a lot of fun getting to talk to a disc golf family.
Yeah, man, that's super, super cool that they're transitioning so well into Lone Star and that they're able to have a disc that fits every slot in their bag so far. That's amazing, and I wish them nothing but the best. And yeah, really excited for them.
Yeah, it was very interesting listening to them talk about Lone Star. Like when you talk to people, you can tell when they're just like trying to sell a product or whatever, but you could tell that they were genuinely excited about this and they're interested in the new opportunity. Was interesting about the social media and like the media day, all that sort of stuff, but they're really excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they're doing great stuff for the community, running that doubles event at New World, bringing people together. That's super cool. And I like I said, I hope everything works out for them and can't wait to see what they do on tour.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that wraps it up for today. You can find the Carey's YouTube channel, Carey'd Disc Golf. You can find AJ on Instagram at the real AJ Carey, Deann at the real Deann Carey, Dan at D Hesser, and me at Evan Amstutz DG. Remember to follow the pod on Instagram at Mediocre Disc Golf Pod and on Twitter at Mediocre DG Pod. If you'd like to support us, buy our shirts on mythicdiscgolf.com and listen every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you enjoyed the show, leave us 5 stars in a review. And if you didn't, still give us 5 stars and tell us why. We know we aren't perfect because we are mediocre. Have a good night.